So if you want to see how I create my brows and do my brow routine, just keep on watching. Hey guys, so I'm going to be using my L'Oreal Brow Artist Shaper. This is like one of my favorite pencils to use. I have used gels, pomades, stuff like that, but I just find that I'm able to create the shape, the opacity, just the overall design of my brow using this pencil, and this is something like that I use constantly. Now this one is not fully sharpened, but I can use it just like this. So what I love about this pencil is that it also has the brush at the other end, and it also has like a wax, but I never seem to use this. I always just use the pencil side. So starting with the brush, I just brush my brows up. It's just so that I can maximize the amount of lid space that I have as well. So if I'm brushing up my brows, I'm just giving myself a lot more lid space to use for when I do my eyeshadow. So now I always start with the tail, and I start by making a line at the very point or the highest point of my brow, like where it goes into the arch. So that's where my brow goes to arch downward. So I make a little line just like that. I don't make it too long because I personally, for me, I don't like to have brows where my arch line goes just down so far. I don't like brows like that. So then what I tend to do now is find the highest point of the front of my brow, which would be there. Okay, so that is the highest point, and that's obviously where the hair starts or stops, should I say that? That's the first part of the hair. So here I can now make a line and join it to where that point was, where the arch was. Now this arch has now gone sloped downward. I don't want my arch to slope. I want it to go up and then to go down. Okay, so now I'm going to fix that by defining the line. Do you see? Now you can see a definitive line where it goes up and where it goes down. And now what I do is I kind of find the lowest point of the brow hair, and I bring it all the way over, but I don't bring it down. I kind of just keep making a line until it meets this part here. So do you see how I've joined those lines all up together? Okay, so now I can fill in the brow. But now what I'm doing is I'm going to bring it forward. And sometimes just raising my eyebrows, I can see exactly. It just helps me to create the shape a little bit better, like if I raise my eyebrows. And any mistakes that I do, I just rub off with my finger. That's better. So now you can see that I've brought my brow literally to the very edge of my nose. Some people's brows start there, mine doesn't. My brow actually starts here, but because I don't have much brow, it just looks strange to me to have my brows start here when I have bold brows like this. So that's why I created an extension of the brow using my pencil. So now going back in with this brush part, I'm just going to brush this into a fade, and it was already kind of a fade because this part here is a lot darker than this part here, but that's because over this side I kind of went in a lot harder with my brow pencil. My son is playing with Lego. I'm not going to disturb him because he's being a good boy. You can say hi, Blake. Hi. No, say hi, everyone. Just shout hi, everyone.
I'm gonna tidy up his stairs.
Oh, he doesn't want to say hi. He wants to tidy up. See, that's a good boy. That is a good boy. Okay, so I've created a fade, but as you can see, it's still quite a bit long.
I'm back.
Oh, you're back?
Yeah.
Because this is still a little bit long, I'm now just going to take my finger and I'm just going to remove the parts that I don't want. And if I remove too much, there's going to be some product on the end of this brush. So I will just go back in and just, do you see now I've brought it all the way back down to the front? It's because there's still product on the end of the brush. So if you do remove a little bit too much, you don't need to use the pencil again to re-pencil it in. Just use whatever product is on the end of the brush, and that way you're not having to redo the whole process over again, because having to go back in, shade it in, and then take it off with the brush or fade it with the brush, but you have just a little bit of product, just enough just to shade in where it is that you've taken off from. See, now to me, this looks, I know it's not a natural looking brow, it's more of an Instagram brow, which I absolutely love and adore. This looks a lot more natural because it fades from my skin, a little bit gray, and then it's brow. That's how I like it. Now this brow, I'm gonna do the exact same thing. So let's do the exact same thing. We brush our eyebrows up and then we create the tail. Now this brow, my left brow, it's naturally a little bit higher than my right brow. So this brow always ends up to being the like mean girl brow, like, because it's always just so high up, like the arch is just always high up. I don't know how it works. Now I bring my brow over like that, and then I outline the bottom of the brow. So now we have the outline of the perfect brow. So that's all it is. We're just creating an outline. And if you wanted to add more, if you wanted it to be, because sometimes I like my eyebrows to be a little bit thicker, sometimes I want them to be a little bit thinner, sometimes I just want them to be like this. And to be fair, this started out a little bit on the thick side, and I just kind of minimized it by wiping away what I didn't want. And sometimes when I do my brows, like one brow might be a little bit thicker than the other, I can just wipe away what I want or add to, like if I think that one is better than the other, I can fix the other one either by adding or taking away so that they match. Now I'm just going to color it in. And I always go a little bit harder on the inside of the brow, and I don't put as much pressure going towards the end of the brow. Now I'm going to extend it a little bit. Oh, do you see? Look, I made a point accidentally. That's not what I want. I don't want it to be pointed. So I'm just going to remove. You see, it's gone now. But now I've got to fix it because there's a little bit missing. If I raise my eyebrows a little bit, I'll be able to. That's it, that's perfect. And I just try to keep the tail as thin and as sharp as possible. So if your pencil is sharp, you're going to create a more precise brow, trust me, especially for that, for the tail. And now I'm just going to use the brush, move a little bit, so I can create that fade. And sometimes I might even go like all the way across if I want to create like the perfect fade. Sometimes I have to. Now, I will say this is my routine every single morning. It doesn't ever take me this long every single morning. I'm taking my time so that I can show you. So it never takes me this long. And especially as I have been doing this for a number of years now, I know how to do my brows like within 3 minutes, like both brows, not one brow. Like I can literally just do color it in, fade it out, just fix it up a little bit, make sure the shape is fine, done. Do the next brow. It's like literally clockwork now because I have limited time in the morning. I have like 2 hours to get ready, but that's me and my 2 children that have to get ready. So when you have 2 kids, you have to make sure that you're using your time like adequately. Oh, those brows are on fire. One thing that people tend to point out when they're talking about my makeup is either my eyeshadow, like, oh my god, your eyeshadow is so good, or it's my brows. Or it's my eyeshadow and my brows, eyeshadow and my brows. And a lot of people ask me, can you teach me how to do brows? Can you teach me how to do eyeshadow? So I always do eyeshadow on here. Brows. The last time I did a brow tutorial was when I was using my laptop to film. Oh my gosh, think about it, like it was beginning of 2018. I was still using my laptop to record, and now we're looking toward the end of 2018 and I've got a little bit more of a decent camera. It's not like a DSLR or anything, but it's a lot better quality than I had before. Count your blessings, you know. But yes, so that is my brow tutorial on how I do my brows. I hope that that was informative. I hope it was useful. And the thing is, even when I use a brow gel or pomade, it's literally the exact same thing. It's just that I'm using a very, very thin brush and I'm using a pomade. But the step by step is the exact same. It's the tail, it's the outline, filling it in, fading it out, removing what I don't want, adding what I do want, and then I'm good to go. But I just prefer to use a pencil, a good old pencil. I don't think that I'm ever going to stop buying this until they decide that they're not going to make these anymore. I think I'm going to hold on to just the brush just in case, because you can clean the brushes like with a makeup wipe. Just rub it in a makeup wipe and it's clean. So yes, those are my brows. Hope you found it useful. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.